World War II, the deadliest conflict in human history, often conjures images of sprawling battles, roaring tanks, and the legendary bravery of soldiers on the front lines. Names like Audie Murphy became synonymous with heroism, their deeds etched into history amid the thunder of artillery and the smoke of ruined cities. Yet beneath the familiar stories of battlefield valor lies a deeper, more complex tapestry, one woven by unexpected heroes who never fired a shot in anger, who never commanded armies, but whose courage shifted the tide of war in ways often overlooked. Heroism during this global cataclysm wore many faces. It came not only from those who carried rifles, but from civilians, diplomats, students, and even industrialists, all bound by a singular refusal to bow to tyranny. These individuals risked everything, defying expectation and circumstance to protect others, gather intelligence, and sustain hope. Their deeds were no less daring, no less vital, and their legacies remind us that valor often blooms in the most improbable places. In the shadows of great battles, their light shone fiercely. These are the unexpected heroes of World War II. The nurse who built an escape line, André de Jong. When German forces swept across Belgium, ordinary citizens faced an agonizing choice: submit, flee, or resist. At just 23 years old, André de Jong, a nurse with no military training, chose defiance. Witnessing stranded British airmen facing capture, she envisioned a lifeline where none existed. From this vision, the Comet Line was born, a clandestine network that ferried Allied airmen across occupied Europe to safety. With tireless determination, de Jong personally guided countless fugitives across a perilous route, threading through safe houses, forests, and enemy checkpoints, culminating in a treacherous crossing of the Pyrenees into Spain. Each journey was a battle against suspicion, betrayal, and death. De Jong's courage gave hundreds of men a second chance at life, and in doing so, she etched her name into the annals of unrecognized bravery. The intelligence operative who entered Auschwitz, Witold Pilecki. When rumors of mass atrocities filtered out of Nazi-occupied Poland, few could comprehend their scale. Witold Pilecki, a Polish resistance officer, sought the truth in the only way he could, by volunteering for capture. Imprisoned inside Auschwitz, Pilecki endured unimaginable horrors yet never surrendered his purpose. He built a covert resistance network within the camp, documenting the atrocities and transmitting vital intelligence to the outside world. Pilecki's reports provided the Allies with some of the first-hand accounts of the Holocaust's brutality. After 2 harrowing years, he escaped to continue fighting, embodying the ultimate act of sacrifice for knowledge and truth. The spy with a limp, Virginia Hall. To the Gestapo, she was the most dangerous of Allied spies. To those she aided, Virginia Hall was hope incarnate. Despite the loss of her leg in a hunting accident, Hall served first with Britain's Special Operations Executive and later the American OSS. Operating in Nazi-occupied France, she organized sabotage missions, armed resistance fighters, and orchestrated daring escapes, all while eluding capture on a prosthetic leg she nicknamed Cuthbert. Hall's physical impairment, far from a hindrance, became a symbol of her relentless spirit, confounding enemy agents who hunted her across France. Her story stands as a testament to audacity and endurance, the diplomat who defied orders, Chiune Sugihara. As Jewish refugees flooded into Lithuania, desperate to flee the tightening Nazi noose, salvation appeared in the unlikeliest form: a Japanese diplomat. Chiune Sugihara, stationed in Kaunas, faced a grim directive from Tokyo: deny visas to Jews. Instead, he chose conscience over obedience. Working day and night, he issued thousands of life-saving transit visas, defying his government's orders and jeopardizing his career. Even as the consulate closed, Sugihara continued signing visas from train platforms, handing hope to the hopeless. Through his courage, nearly 6,000 lives were saved, a silent rebellion that echoes through history. The student who chose defiance, Sophie Scholl and the White Rose. In the heart of Nazi Germany, where fear stifled dissent, a small band of students dared to speak the truth. Sophie Scholl, her brother Hans, and fellow members of the White Rose Resistance distributed pamphlets denouncing Hitler's regime, calling for moral awakening and civil resistance. Knowing the risks, they persisted until February 1943, when they were caught scattering leaflets at the University of Munich. Swiftly tried and executed, Sophie's final words were haunting. "What we wrote and said is what many people are thinking. They just don't dare say it aloud." Their sacrifice became a beacon of conscience in a world darkened by terror. Speaking in an unbreakable code, the Navajo Code, talkers. On the sun-scorched battlefields of the Pacific, secure communication was a matter of life and death. Enter the Navajo Code talkers. Drawing upon their ancient language, these Native American Marines devised a code so complex and unfamiliar that it defied Japanese cryptographers. Terms like turtle for tank and hummingbird for fighter plane concealed critical information with unbreakable speed and accuracy. Major Howard Connor later declared that the Marines' victory at Iwo Jima would not have been possible without them. For decades, their contribution remained a military secret. Today, their ingenuity and valor stand rightfully honored among history's greatest acts of service. The industrialist who saved his workers, Oskar Schindler. Initially, Oskar Schindler saw profit in war. By the war's end, he had become a savior. A German businessman and Nazi party member, Schindler employed Jewish workers in his Krakow factory, shielding them from the horrors of forced labor camps. As deportations escalated, he maneuvered, bribed, and pleaded, compiling his famous list to safeguard over 1,200 Jews. In a world collapsing into moral abyss, Schindler's transformation from profiteer to protector serves as a profound reminder that redemption often walks an unexpected path. The administrator with a conscience, Georg Ferdinand Duckwitz. Inside the Nazi administration in occupied Denmark, Georg Ferdinand Duckwitz harbored a secret unease. Learning of imminent plans to arrest and deport Danish Jews, Duckwitz risked everything to alert the Danish resistance. Thanks to his warning, a nationwide rescue effort unfolded almost overnight. Fishing boats ferried thousands across the Øresund Strait to neutral Sweden, sparing 99% of Denmark's Jewish population from the Holocaust. Duckwitz's quiet defiance, undertaken from within the machinery of oppression itself, reveals the unexpected power of individual conscience to shape history. The pilot who refused to give up, Alexei Maresiev. Shot down behind enemy lines and gravely injured, Soviet fighter ace Alexei Maresiev spent 18 agonizing days crawling back to friendly territory. Infection claimed both his legs below the knee. For many, such wounds would have meant the end of dreams, not for Maresiev. Through relentless rehabilitation, he mastered his prosthetics and, defying all odds, returned to the skies. By war's end, he had downed 11 German planes after his injuries, a living embodiment of resilience. His story became a Soviet legend, a symbol that no injury could ground the human spirit. The enduring legacy of unexpected courage. The names of Andre de Jong, Witold Pilecki, Virginia Hall, Chiuna Sugihara, Sophie Scholl, the Navajo Code Talkers, Oskar Schindler, Georg Ferdinand Duckwitz, and Alexei Maresiev illuminate the forgotten corridors of World War II history. Their courage transcended nationality, profession, and circumstance. They remind us that heroism often takes root in the ordinary, in the hands of a nurse, a student, a diplomat, a pilot. In a world riven by hate and fear, these unexpected heroes stood defiantly against the tide, each a testament to the enduring power of conscience and compassion. Their stories compel us to look beyond medals and battlefields, to recognize that history's most profound transformations often begin with quiet, solitary acts of courage. In remembering them, we honor not only their deeds, but also the boundless potential for greatness that lies within us all.